Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit LIONS fans. Let's get to the news. Now, Lions fans, I know what you're thinking. It's preseason, right? It's just a warm-up game, a chance for coaches to see who's got what, who's fighting for a spot, and who's not quite ready yet. But even in these early games, some things stand out, and let me tell you, the recent Hall of Fame game was a bit of a wake-up call for Detroit. Yes, the Los Angeles Chargers handed the Lions a 34-7 defeat, and I know that score looks pretty one-sided, especially when you consider it was a preseason game featuring backups, third-stringers, and some guys fighting to make an impression. But the way it unfolded, it's not just about the score, it's about the message. It's about how the Lions, under the leadership of head coach Dan Campbell, are trying to set a tone early in this 2025 season. Now, Campbell is known for his fiery passion, his intense leadership, and his relentless pursuit of excellence. And even though this was a preseason game, the mistakes the Lions made were glaring enough to catch the attention of every fan, analyst, and even the players themselves. 5 turnovers, for instance, that's a lot in any game, but especially so when you're trying to build momentum and confidence. 2 of those turnovers came from costly interceptions thrown by Kyle Allen, a quarterback fighting for his spot and trying to show he belongs on this roster. And let me tell you, Campbell didn't hold back. After the game, he made it crystal clear that this kind of ball security issue is unacceptable, especially for a team with playoff aspirations. He said, "We turned it over 5 times and we didn't get any takeaways," emphasizing just how critical it is for players to take care of the football. You see, Detroit's success in recent seasons has been built on a strong, disciplined defense and a robust offensive attack led by players like Jared Goff, who's been a steady force at quarterback. But in this game, it was evident that the team still has some work to do. Campbell didn't shy away from the tough words either. He made it clear that if players aren't performing at the level expected, they might find themselves on the chopping block come roster cuts. "You're wearing Lions gear, you've got to take care of the ball or it's going to be hard to keep you around," he said. That's a direct message to everyone in that locker room. The competition is fierce, and mistakes like those can cost you your spot. And honestly, that's a sign of a coach who is serious about winning, who demands accountability, and who knows that the only way to reach the Super Bowl is through discipline and focus. But let's not forget, it's preseason. The Lions are still in the evaluation phase. They're trying out different combinations, giving younger players a chance to shine, and testing their depth. This is crucial for a team that finished last season with an impressive 15-2 record and won the NFC North for the 2nd year in a row. Those are no small feats, especially in a division that's increasingly competitive. The Vikings, Packers, and Bears are all making moves, but Detroit's roster remains one of the most talented and balanced in the NFC. Jared Goff, for instance, continues to be a pivotal piece, showing maturity and leadership that make fans believe in another deep playoff run this year. Yet, even with such high hopes, injuries have been a concern. Last season, a wave of injuries slowed them down, preventing a shot at the Super Bowl. And that's where the preseason becomes even more critical. It's a time to identify weaknesses, to develop young talent, and to ensure that when Week 1 hits, everyone is firing on all cylinders. Campbell's fiery attitude is a reflection of how committed he is to that process. He's demanding better, pushing his players to step up, and showing that he's not satisfied with anything less than their best. Now, I want to pause here for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. What's really intriguing about this game isn't just the score or the turnovers. It's how the Lions are approaching this preseason. They're testing their resilience, their mental toughness, and their ability to bounce back from adversity. Campbell is showing that he's willing to make tough decisions if players can't meet his standards. That's exactly what Detroit needs, a coach who's willing to push, to challenge, but also to prepare his team for the grind of the regular season and playoffs. Looking ahead, the Lions are still one of the favorites in the NFC. Their 15-2 record last year was remarkable, and even though they fell just short of the Super Bowl, the foundation they built is solid. Jared Goff has continued to develop, showing that he's more than capable of leading this team deep into the postseason. The addition of new talent, the focus on developing their young core, and the leadership of Campbell all point towards a very promising outlook. But it's not just about talent, it's about discipline. It's about execution. And that's what Campbell is drilling into his players every chance he gets. Of course, injuries are always a concern. Last season, players like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jack Campbell, and others faced setbacks. But the team's depth has improved, and the coaching staff is working tirelessly to ensure that they're prepared for any surprises that may come in the season. The NFL is unpredictable, and every team faces obstacles, but Detroit's resilience and leadership are what set them apart. They're not just aiming to be good, they want to be great, and they're willing to put in the work to get there. Now, let's talk a bit about what's next. The Lions have their next preseason game coming up, and Campbell has already signaled that he expects a different showing. Better ball security, fewer mistakes, and a more cohesive effort across the board. If they can clean up the turnovers and tighten up their defense, especially in generating turnovers themselves, they'll be well on their way to solidifying their status as NFC contenders once again. The challenge is to translate what they're working on in practice into real game performance, and that's exactly what preseason is for. In the grand scheme of things, it's important for Lions fans to understand that preseason results don't define a season. Yes, losing 34-7 isn't ideal, but it's part of the process. What matters most is how the team learns from these setbacks. Campbell's fiery leadership is a clear indicator that he expects growth, discipline, and resilience from his squad. And knowing the talent they have, especially with Jared Goff at the helm and a defense that continues to improve, I believe Detroit is still on track for another deep playoff push. NFC is wide open, and if the Lions can iron out their mistakes early, they could very well be the team to beat come January. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this preseason performance? Are you concerned, or do you see it as a valuable lesson? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news. The journey is just beginning, and this team is more motivated than ever to make 2025 their best season yet. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!